does it want? Get it away from me!
I am sorry.
Can't you see? It's unstable!
Ma'am, please, calm down. It's been a very tough evening, and I assure you that everyone wants to be back home with their families. Though for some of us, the night has just begun.
I finally got around to playing RoboCop Rogue City, and honestly, I didn't think much going in. I figured it would be a fun nostalgia trip, something light to kill a few hours. But the more I played, the more I realized there's actually something here. And it surprised me in the best way possible. You know, most people probably saw the trailers and thought, okay, it's RoboCop. It'll be clunky, dated, maybe fun for a few shootouts, and that's it. And I get that. A lot of these retro-inspired games lean so hard into the past that they forget to actually be fun. They either modernize too much or stick to the old formula without giving it life. But this one, it somehow threads the needle. Rogue City feels like it was made by people who actually love the original movies. Not just the surface level aesthetics, but the tone, the pacing, the weird charm of it all. And they managed to bring that into a modern game without turning it into a parody. I grew up with RoboCop. I've seen those movies way too many times, so when I say this feels right, it's not just nostalgia talking. The slow, heavy movement, that's intentional. The brutal gunplay, the corny but sincere dialogue, all of that is baked in and it works. It's not trying to be slick, it's trying to be RoboCop. So in this video, I want to talk about what makes this game work. Not just the action, but the way it leans into its identity, why it feels more like a genuine continuation of the films than most movie tie-ins ever got close to. So is RoboCop Rogue City worth your time in 2025? Short answer, yes, but it's not that simple, so let's get into it.
Lewis,
I'm all right, Murphy.
drop your weapon. You are under arrest.
I don't think you're reading this situation correctly.
Thanks for the ride, big guy. It's the new guy in town. Welcome to Detroit.
What stands out right away is how Rogue City treats its world. It doesn't feel like set dressing. It feels like something broken and barely holding together. Whether you're walking through the police station, issuing parking tickets, or listening to pedestrians argue on the sidewalk, the game is constantly feeding you pieces of a crumbling city. And yeah, some of it is exaggerated. This is still RoboCop after all, but it works. There's just enough grime and tension in every space to make Detroit feel like a place that needs a guy like RoboCop, and maybe deserves better than him too. The city of Detroit in this game feels desperate. It feels in need of a hero, in need of RoboCop. And that to me is one of the key elements to creating a believable world and a good game. Your character needs to feel like they belong in the city that's created for them. In this game, the city never feels like it doesn't need RoboCop. As the game progresses actually, it feels like it's in need of him even more.
Oh, on second thought, you can't do that, 'cause you don't have a warrant, do ya?
What a douchebag.
The shooting in this game feels simple but satisfying. You're not sliding around or snapping the cover. You're walking into a room and clearing it like a tank because, well, you're RoboCop. Every shot feels heavy. You can grab enemies and throw them through windows. I mean, I've thrown a few out of skyscrapers myself, but you can tear through walls and it all feels earned because the game never rushes you. And here's the thing, even when it gets chaotic, it doesn't lose its identity. It's not trying to turn RoboCop into something else. You're RoboCop. It wants you to feel powerful but still mechanical, still constrained but unstoppable. That limitation becomes part of the fun. And there's systems in the game like the skill system or the PCB boards that allow you to turn RoboCop into an even more brutal killing machine, and all of it is pure fun. The skill system in this game is not complex. It's your basic skill system. It does what it's supposed to. It's very simple to understand. However, the PCB board system took me a little bit more to understand, but once I did, it allowed me to make RoboCop's Auto 9 absolutely ridiculous. Completely brutalizing enemies, blowing them up, bouncing bullets. Well, that's also in the skill tree. But like basically, if RoboCop can do it, you will really unlock his full potential by utilizing the PCB board system and the skill system together as a unit. They are separate systems, but in order to get the most out of RoboCop, you need to use them both. However, I do think that even if you didn't use the PCB system to upgrade his gun and the damage and all of that, you could still get through the entire game without it. But I would absolutely recommend that you take the time you need to understand and set up this system so you can use RoboCop at his full potential.
That was very helpful. Thank you for your cooperation.
For all the gunfire, the quieter moments are where this game actually surprised me the most. You're given space to investigate, talk to people, make small decisions. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it adds weight. A machine doesn't need to ask questions, but here you are, trying to figure out what's right in the moment. There's something really effective about that. The game doesn't ask you to make massive moral choices. It just asks you to care a little. That's more than most games in this genre even try for. It is easy to overlook a lot of these side tasks or these little interactions with the citizens, but I think it matters in a small way. Now, I think it does influence something later on in the game depending on the decisions and the choices you make and how people see you and interact with you, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, so you could theoretically skip all of this, but I think you would be doing yourself a disservice if you skip this stuff, because you are a cop after all, and the people need help, so do your job. Just kidding. But the point is I really do think this game shines because of its side content. And what I love about it the most is it's not overly complicated. It's very simple and a lot of it's quick and easy to do, but it adds an element to the game that I think is necessary to enjoy your experience. Rogue City isn't trying to reinvent anything, but it nails something that's a lot harder than it looks: tone. It knows what it is, and it knows what RoboCop is, and it builds a game around that without making it feel like a joke. If you're coming into this expecting another quick cash-in on a classic franchise, I get it. I do. I did too. But what you'll find here is something far more deliberate. A game that respects the original material and gives it just enough room to breathe in a modern space. Whether you're a fan of the movies or just looking for a shooter with a unique identity and a little bit of a soul, this is absolutely worth checking out, in my opinion. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. This is a little bit shorter than what I would normally do, I think. It's not much shorter, but it is probably a little bit shorter. Mainly, I really enjoyed this game, and this game has DLC coming out that I'm probably going to buy, but I think if you haven't played this game, you should definitely give it a try. I know a few months ago it was free on PS Plus. I don't know how many of you watching may have PS Plus, but that's where I first saw it, and then I downloaded it on my PlayStation, but then I came to my PC and bought it because I like to play these type of games on PC, just because it's keyboard and mouse. However, I did play this a little bit on my PlayStation and it played relatively fine. That's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to play this on my PC, so I could really enjoy it. Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to let me know in the comments below which RoboCop was your favorite movie. If you've never seen them at all, feel free to let me know and maybe go and check out a movie and check it out. It's an old, cheesy classic. It's worth your time if you're into that stuff. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Hippo out.